Oh, it's Mr. McFeely.
I have seen the future, and he was wearing number 5, and I ain't talking about Robbie Grimsley, folks.
Took out the muffins, took out the trail mix, took out the cookies. They stole the monster cookies.
Wow, that's awesome. That is so awesome. Let's do some broadcasting.
Yeah. Let's do some broadcasting. This tweet was sent out last night. Behold, my first and quite possibly last 200 game in Sunset Lanes Bowling League for this year. Let's turn over some cars in 219.
Well, the last part of that was a tip of the cap to you.
Appreciate that.
And our trip to Philadelphia for the NFC Championship game.
219, brother. Holy cow.
Yep.
You were feeling it.
Yeah. Okay. And my first game, I rolled a 190.
Holy cow.
Excuse me.
What did you eat last night? You got to replicate that now.
So I went to my last game knowing I've never rolled a 600 series. So I went to my last game knowing that I had to roll a 89 to, or whatever, 191, whatever. Math, not my strong suit. To get a 600 series, I rolled a 120. So you talk about two hands around the throat. Sunset Lanes. Like my dad used to tell me, this was the words of comfort from my dad when I was
ought to be good.
When I was in Little League Baseball was, it's kind of tough to field the ball with two hands around your throat.
Yeah. Love inspiration there. Yeah. Way to go. Look at this. You had strikes in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th frames, man.
Yeah,
you were
I
feeling it.
In the 10th, too.
Did you get one in the 10th?
Yeah, I did.
Holy cow.
Not that I was counting, but. So anyway.
Good for you.
It's hard to roll my last game with two hands around my throat.
Well, congratulations. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really important.
It is important. I'll take anything I can get these days, man. So I'll take it. So
correct. Yes.
So
you know what else could soothe my wounds from a week ago?
Yeah. The Mountain West.
Hello.
Yeah.
Matt Larson.
Gloria.
This is Gloria Navarez. How would you guys like to be in the Mountain West? Hi, Gloria. This is Matt Larson. We'd love to accept that invitation. I'm going to call Mike McFeely right now and let him know. I'm not going to break this to the national media first because Mike has been on this for 4 years now.
Yep.
So I'm going to call him and give him the hot tip. Thanks, Gloria. We'll see you soon.
You're living in a dream world, that last part. But so you wrote the column yesterday. We chatted for a bit yesterday. So McMurphy, who's going to be on the show tomorrow, broke the story. It was a week ago tomorrow. Nobody else has reported this. Is that to me is odd. We talked about this yesterday.
That's odd. It is odd. And I don't know what it means.
Yeah. That's why I said up top of the show.
Maybe it just means that nobody cares.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe the Chris Vanini from the Athletics of the world just don't care enough about the Mountain West.
But they always report any realignment stuff. Nobody ever misses a chance to report that stuff.
But as somebody, the FCS to NDSU to FBS guy on Twitter last night did tweet at me that McMurphy was the one who broke the Gonzaga story. And it was like 3 months ahead of time, and nobody else. Actually, the other, like Nicole Auerbach,
disputed that.
We're like ripping McMurphy for that. So this is not true. And
lo and behold, that'd be inaccurate.
It turned out to be exactly accurate. And so it's either other national media don't care or that they don't want to. Maybe they're hearing something else, but they don't want to report it because they want to get McMurphy'd again. I don't know, but it was odd that and Brett was on a different outlet. He was on 1660 last week, and kudos to them. They had a nice interview with them. But he laid out what he had learned and what he had heard, and it all sounds
the Mountain West is interested.
Extremely legitimate.
That's what McMurphy said. The Mountain West is extremely interested here.
Yes. Yep.
So
and you and I have both been fighting this battle for 4 years now. And we've taken our share of slings and arrows from Grand Forks and Brookings and Sioux Falls and everywhere else that dislikes North Dakota State and dislikes foreign communications. And you and I personally, perhaps. Mm-hmm. But McMurphy said that everybody he's talked to in college football has said, regardless of what the Mountain West wants to do with adding a MAC, the best option they could get football-wise is clearly North Dakota State.
Yep.
If it's going to be a football-only thing, clearly the best decision they could make to strengthen their league and to have the best possible addition is North Dakota State. And you and I have been saying that for 4 years.
Correct.
And
Yep.
we get slashed
Yep.
because these other jealous, resentful boneheads can't see past the end of their jealous, resentful noses and go, wait a second. They've won 9 national championships. They have a $55 million indoor facility. They're in a community of 250,000 people. Their fans travel to Frisco 10,000 strong every year. Golly, would that be a good addition to a G5 league? No. Let's all go 4 teams all at once because we all have to stick together in the Dakotas.
No.
That ain't happening.
Nope.
That's the other thing, too, by the way. I'm a little fired up because I'm sick of the crap that we've taken the last 4 years. So if this happens, there's going to be a major crotch chop, both north and south on this.
A Gronk spike.
Oh, my God. It's going to be a major crotch chop to these jerks to the north and to the south. But here's the deal. Okay, so we have said, in my mind still, I still think South Dakota State going with them in football would be a good thing.
Absolutely.
North Dakota State does not want that to happen. They don't. They want to go by themselves. A lot of the fans just want to go by themselves. I say, you know what? It's still a good, we saw how good the rivalry game is.
Yeah.
On this year was fantastic.
Great game.
Fantastic. Yep. But you know what? If NDSU goes by themselves on this, good.
So be it.
Yep. I don't know if I could say the word screw them on TV, but screw them.
Yep.
And Brookings, screw them everywhere because all they've done is mock and ridicule not only us, but also the chances of North Dakota State going. They're never going to go. Yep. Now the goalposts are being moved.
Yep.
Now the goalposts are being. Now it was. Oh, it's never going to happen.
Yep.
That's just McFeely making things up. Oh, NDSU is so arrogant. No, we talk to people, Dom. We talk to people behind the scenes privately. Yep. We do all of the things. This is something that North Dakota State has wanted and been working toward for several years. Okay?
Maybe not as expediently as we wanted it to happen, but
sure,
yes.
And sure, it took 41 different things to happen to get to this point, but we appear for now to have possibly reached that point. It still might not happen.
Yep.
And then North and South can crotch chop me. That's fine. I'm used to it. Trust me. But you know what? If NDSU goes and they're all stuck behind because I want to win national championships. I want to beat Mercer by 46 points in the playoffs because we don't want to go to the LA Bowl. Okay,
great.
Go win 34 more FCS national championships.
Yep.
Go beat Incarnate Word and go, woo!
The response on the poll question I put out, what was the biggest holdup? The no more playoff games was number one.
Except that's BS.
I know.
Because I subtweeted or whatever you call it, quote tweeted. Yeah. Look at the numbers.
Yep.
It's complete BS and I'm not calling your followers, BSers, but they're the ones that are actually going to the games. But look at the attendance numbers.
Yes.
They've had one playoff sellout in 8 years.
Yeah. It's been a bit. And it's not going to change for the second round.
Last year against Drake, there were 7,000 people.
Correct.
It was a thing back in 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm not disputing it. That was 10 years ago.
Yep.
But the last 5 or 6 years, people just aren't showing up for the games.
And they're not even showing up for the semifinals. We get a good crowd, but it's not a sellout crowd.
In 2021.
The James Madison game.
Madison. Okay, so I understood. I got in 2017, 18 when people stopped showing up for Wofford or Illinois State.
Colgate was that year.
Yep. Okay, fine. Yep. Okay, we know the way that game is going to go. It's not. Yep. This isn't Lehigh in 2011 anymore, where you went, can NDSU beat Lehigh? With one hand's tied behind their back.
Really
they could have.
Yes, they could.
But we know that now. So I get that. In 2016, when you had James Madison coming to the Fargo Dome, and there was a good playoff rivalry. Programs didn't like each other. Fan bases didn't like each other, okay? And it was James Madison's last go around in FCS because they'd already accepted an invite to the Sun Belt. It was like the game that everybody wanted. There was like 3,000 empty seats in the Fargo Dome. So don't tell me the playoffs are all that important anymore, because the numbers just say they're not.
Yeah, that to me, and plus, by the way, if you're in this, look at Boise right now. You could be in the college football playoff.
Brett McMurphy is going to say in your program tomorrow, Dom, as I have said for 4 years, nobody pays attention to me, and it hurts. It doesn't hurt.
We pay attention.
I know. I pay attention, and that's really the most important thing to me. Brett McMurphy said on 1660 the other day, NDSU can be the next Boise State.
Yep. Stop right there. Full stop. Bam. Bam. Right there. That's all right. It's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's a nationally known school in football.
Yes. Which is, as of now, going to be in the college football playoffs.
Correct. And I'm not saying every year, but you may have that one chance.
So anyway,
I
don't know if this is going to happen. Yeah. If it does, I'm going to be stripping my shirt off and running down Main Avenue. I'm going to be running down University.
Just let us know when and where so we can have the camera for that, okay?
Okay, all right.
Make sure we're good.
You missed it last night at Sunset.
I know it.
When I finished my 219, I crotch chopped my opponent, ripped off my bowling shirt, and was running through Sunset lanes like this.
Let's break. We got a bunch of emails we want to get to, and much more with Mike here as we wrap up hour one on a excited Tuesday. We're back after this.
I'm fired up.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Mountain West map with the potential addition of North Dakota State.
The Mountain West reimagined.
Yes. University of Texas El Paso will be a member in 2026. Hawaii is now a full member. We discussed that as well. I'm on board with that, Michael. I would take that in a heartbeat, my man.
I mean, does UTEP do anything for me? No. Does New Mexico do anything for me? Not necessarily. No. But Wyoming would be, I think,
that'd be fun.
Be a natural rival. Air Force would be amazing.
Man.
I mean, it's the Air Force Academy, right. Colorado Springs. UNLV has built itself into a really good program that for a while there, they were talking about UNLV might be the college football playoff representative from the Mountain West. Yep. Nevada, Jeff Choate's there.
Our
buddy from Montana State. So he might not be thrilled.
No, he won't be thrilled about the Bison. No.
San Jose State, they're not very good at anything.
No.
But that's somewhat in the Bay Area. I was in San Jose or Santa Clara, I guess, but it's right next to San Jose. Flew into San Jose for the San Francisco 49ers.
That's right.
And so it's a 50-mile drive or a 2-hour train ride into San Francisco from there. And so it's Hawaii is Hawaii. But and we're getting way ahead of ourselves here because the crotch chops could still come from north and south toward me, which is fine, as I said. But to me, the balance or the argument to the playoff complaints is the non-conference possibilities. I mean, do yourselves a favor if you're watching this or listening to it later in a podcast and go look at Boise State's non-conference schedule this year and next year. I know NDSU is not Boise State, but just as an example, do that. Look at Nevada. Speaking of Jeff Choate.
Yeah, we did that last week.
Look at Nevada's non-conference schedule. You're generally every year in the Mountain West going to get a Power 4 game. And it might not be a great one, but it's going to be a Power 4 game.
So here's what Nevada did this year, Mike. Opened with SMU.
Okay, that's
pretty good.
That's
ACC school
That's
now.
better than Tennessee State.
At Troy.
Okay, that's an old rival.
Son of the Bison,
it's a Sun Belt,
Home for Georgia
you
Southern.
Get revenge for 1984. Sorry, that's a Division II reference from 4 years ago.
Georgia Southern.
I'll be darned.
How about that? At the University of Minnesota.
Really?
And then they hosted.
That ain't happening.
That ain't happening. No matter what.
PJ Fleck has. I've had two different people tell me PJ Fleck has said
and
we ain't playing NDSU or SDSU again.
And then they host Eastern Washington, so you still get an FCS game in there too. So I mean that's what you want to do. That's what you want.
That's what I would think people would want to do.
Makes complete sense to me. So I'm going to get a couple emails in here before we go as well. We got to get some Twin stuff apparently in before Mike's on here. I thought this is a good email. Dom and Mike, just curious how the Mountain West Conference Championship looks if this is the Missouri Valley Conference Championship looks if USD beats NDSU next week. Does Missouri State win or lose count towards the conference standings? Definitely counts. What happens if UND beats South Dakota this weekend? How do you see the Dakota scores then for the playoffs?
If UND beats USD, then UND is right back in the playoff discussion, which is amazing. Which is would be one more. Nothing against UND, but it would be one more reason for me to just say let's just leave this FCS behind because they are what they are. If USD beats NDSU, then they would be. If USD wins out, they would be seated higher than North Dakota State because of the head-to-head. Despite the scheduling of major eye roll Northern State. Again, one more reason to flee FCS is that they're still scheduling Division II schools. And what's the problem? So if you
do you put the Bison ahead of the Jacks in that scenario?
That's the sticky wicket. The Jacks, though, remember. What did they play also this year?
They also played in non-Division I. They played Augustana.
So that should count against them.
I think so.
So that would, with the head-to-head with NDSU, and then scheduling Augustana, that to me the Bison would be ahead of
head-to-head has to matter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So the Bison would be 3 in that scenario then, and maybe Davis 4 to see what happens.
Yeah.
Cal Davis is going to be heard from. They host Montana State Saturday. Yep. I thought if people watched that Davis-Montana game, Davis played defensively pretty good. Granted, the Chris quarterback situation is not very good right now.
I don't know how good Montana is truly, but that's a great win for Davis.
The win at Missoula.
I don't know that – I didn't think that Davis was like super dynamic offensively. They had a really good Lance Larison.
Yep, Lance Larison.
He's pretty good, Quarterback is good.
Yep.
I just don't know if they have a bunch of burners going down the field, but they don't. But
Montana State's also running for 500 yards a game.
Yes. So we'll see. That's going to be a fun game.
Another email comes in. This is regarding your column. One thing Mike was probably considering but didn't include in his column is there some argument going on with the Power 4 power brokers about a potential NDSU move up from FCS when they are on record not wanting any more movement at that level. We certainly won't know for sure, but might that potential negotiation be delaying any public announcents at this point?
Negotiation between who and who?
Maybe the SEC, Big Ten, and the Mountain West?
Yeah, I don't think
there is. I mean,
I don't think there's a negotiate. It's more of a and again, the way McMurphy laid it out, which is right, is the SEC and Big Ten can't do anything.
Right.
They
can't punish.
They can't punish the Mountain West, and they're not going to take away the G5 playoff spot because Congress would get involved with that. So, but McMurphy said it's like The Godfather. It's I'll do you a favor, you do me a favor, whatever, and you can do whatever you want in the future.
Yeah.
But know that if you do that, what you want to do, there might be a price to pay for you down the line.
Remember Robert De Niro in The Godfather 2 always points to his head like this. I'll never forget it.
Right.
That's the point.
And in Godfather 1 with Marlon Brando and The Undertaker, it's like you came to me. Why didn't you come to me?
Correct.
And now that and then it ends up that he has to fix Sonny's face after he got shot 300 times at the toll booth on Long Island.
Correct. Some Minnesota Twins news here, Michael, before we go. After 22 years, this is according to Do-Young Park, who covers the Twins for MLB.com. Dave St. Peter is stepping down as team president and moving to a strategic advisor role. Derek Falvey will begin a transition to the business side as president of baseball and business operations. Jeremy Zoll has been promoted to GM. So there is a lot of movement here with the Twins. They're going to be sold, and now a new guy running the team, general manager-wise.
I had no inside information. Obviously, I don't, but that doesn't surprise me. It just seems like after last season, it seems like there was winds of change in the front office with the Twins. And
Dave's been with the Pohlads forever as well. If the Pohlads are going to be involved, that maybe Dave will be there too.
Yep. And so that doesn't surprise me that there's just it's just a whole new era.
A lot of headwinds there of change of like
Yes.
we need to go different here.
And as I had my Twins cap on a few weeks ago on this program, I'm just saying, be careful what you wish for. Just be careful what you wish for.
You described this before we go about NDSU in the Mountain West as a moonshot. That's how you what would you describe it as now? Prospects of this.
Trying to think of the apt metaphor. A transatlantic crossing.
Okay. Those happen all the time.
They do.
I think it's 60-40 that it happens.
Somebody at bowling last night asked me, and in the euphoria of me crotch chopping my opponent, I did not crotch chop my opponent. He's a good guy. I said 70-30.
Okay.
I can't. Like, nobody at NDSU is.
I said we're going to ask Polisic today. I'm sure he'll spill the beans on that, right?
So,
And say everything.
Mike, let me answer this question, but let's talk about it afterward privately. I'll give you the whole scoop. But if Matt Larson is not there,
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Yep.
If David Cook is not there, well, he's not.
He doesn't
never
go
there.
to those. But Cook hasn't been at the last 3 sporting events. I will say that. I don't know. Just saying. Throw it out there.
Whatever. Whatever.
Great stuff as always, bud. We'll see you later today at the press conference
Yes,
at
you
1:30.
will. Are you going to get the first question about the Mountain West, or am I?
Whatever. We can flip for it.
I'm
Doesn't
gonna
matter to
stomp
me.
on you. As soon as you open your mouth, I'm jumping in.
Good. Timmy's gonna be pointing
We're
like
yelling at each other.
But wait a minute. But wait.
Mountain
yeah.
West, but Tim, Mountain West.
We'll see you later.
Yep.
Hour 2 of Hot Mike on this Tuesday morning. Hits. We come back right after this.